This is Hannibal here from the HannibalTV.com, coming back up you with another wrestling news update. Rampage was up this week for their Battle of the Belts special, even though they didn't have their world championship on the line on a Battle of the Belts special. I mean, wouldn't you think if you have a Battle of the Belts special, you put all the belts on the line? Anyways, they did a 0.15 rating. Smackdown down from last week, 0.64 with Cena to 0.54 this week. WWE news for the sale. Apparently, they couldn't sell without Vince or do a TV deal without Vince, according to company bylaws. But they do want to sell the company ideally before the next TV deal is made. It's funny, and this is some notes that I heard Dave Meltzer talking about today on his radio show, that the previous board of directors, only voted that they didn't want Vince back directly in the company a few weeks ago before they replaced him. But now that they replaced him, the whole company is acting like it's a positive. So that's kind of funny because since he was the majority owner, he was just able to replace the board members that didn't like him. Apparently, the WWE is very serious about selling now, and some of the buyers include the Saudi Arabia government, who would likely buy it and then make it a private company and keep Vince McMahon in charge. Vince is probably worth more than $2 billion now. And if they sell to a company like Saudi Arabia or an entity like the Saudi Arabia, they wouldn't have to make numbers public, which they don't always like to do because they like to, they have their reasons. I won't speculate, but they won't have to make their financials public anymore like they do quarterly now. Apparently, ideally, they want to sell by the middle of this year. The new TV deal wouldn't go into effect until October 2024, so it wouldn't even be starting negotiations till later this year, early next year. If NBC Universal were to buy the company, it's likely they would take SmackDown, obviously, because Fox wouldn't want to air a competitor's show. Disney could also buy it, or Netflix is a possible buyer. A media company would want it to avoid paying rights fees because eventually, over time, they could get their money back and keep producing more content with no rights fees if they owned the product. Endeavor, who owns UFC, might also be interested. And it's important for Vince that he's a key person involved in the selling of the company, because he may want an assurance with whoever buys a new company that he would run the company or be in a position of power, even though they could change things and out him after a while. But initially, it seems like he would want that. And I guess Vince wouldn't have allowed this sale if the company didn't bring him back, because since he's a majority shareholder, he would have had to approve the sale. Amazon might be another buyer that's interested, and Vince selling the company right now, it's probably best for him to make the most out of it. We all know they have all these crazy rights deals right now, but as far as the product itself, it's not that popular. A company, as I reported a few weeks ago in The Observer, recently did a survey asking people which wrestlers come to mind when they thought of a wrestler, and it was Hulk Hogan and The Rock first, and I think it was Ric Flair and Macho Man and Austin were three of the others, but it was like none of the current wrestlers were wrestlers that people even thought of in the past. So there you go. Apparently, Jacob Fatu's name is in the news today because he attacked a fan, I guess, back in 2019 and at the Battle of LA last weekend. that Mike Bailey won, former GNW wrestler. Search up Mike Bailey against Jeremy Prophet here on the Hannibal TV. They had a great match for GNW a few years ago. But anyways, the same fan got kicked or something at the PWG last week. And from what I understand, the reason why WWE never picked up Jacob Fatu had something to do with his ability to travel internationally, from what I understand, due to something. I don't know exactly. And supposedly he signed to MLW for a while longer anyways. Even though MLW barely runs, I don't know why people sign with that company. It seems like they only run every 4 months or so these days. So I don't know why people would sign. Good evening, David. Yes, Nick, Owens is in the main event of a major pay-per-view against Roman Reigns. Triple H is booking. Do you think Kevin Owens is going to beat Roman Reigns for the title? I don't care. Good for him. I really don't care. He's not who I would pick if I was in charge of talent to main event pay-per-views, but they make hundreds of millions from NBC having their pay-per-views on Peacock, so they don't need to draw for pay-per-views anymore, so they can do whatever they want. Yes, we already covered that earlier. Bo Dallas, who I don't even think wrestled one match during the time that he was not with WWE, is being brought back. It's not been confirmed if he's Uncle Howdy or not. Apparently they're kayfabing everyone on that. Vanderstar hopes NBC buys. What happened to Vince's face? I have no idea. It does look like Triple H got nose surgery over the years, though. Vanderstar says Vince is almost 80. I think he's 77. The news is definitely more interesting than wrestling these days, Mark. I agree on that. Somebody says he didn't think Vince was retired. Well, he still owned the company, so you can't be the majority owner and retired. Yeah, it does. It does make billions, but it's due to all the new sources of revenue that exist now that didn't exist before. As far as people on the street that know what's going on in the product, less know than ever. But there's so many more ways to make money these days. Yeah, I heard Jacob got injured on a show over the weekend or something. Larry thinks of Coco Beware when he thinks of a wrestler who I heard he was in bad health lately, so speedy recovery to him. And there is an interview that I did with Coco last year that was pretty good on this channel. So search up Coco Beware, the Hannibal TV, to see more information on that. Heading off to the gym to hit chest and cardio. See you guys later. Have a great night.
Thank you for watching the Hannibal TV. Please like this video if you enjoyed it and click the subscribe